again. I'm jumping in, although I'm quite busy with making gifts, because one of the best things about being a crafter is that you get to make special gifts for the special people in your life. You get to make things that you could never buy. People can wish for things that you could never buy because nobody sells weird stuff like this. Like for instance, when my kids were little, my little one wished for an homme pliché, and he wrote to our Santa Claus, that's our Grandpa Frost, he wrote to him that he would like to get an homme pliché. And although our little country is known for our Proteus sanguineus, the cave amphibian that is really cute and so on, back in the day you couldn't buy an homme pliché. So the elves had to make it. All well that ends well, but today we'll see how to make this necklace that is also a bit special, and it also has a little homme in it. And you'll get to know why there is homme in it and who gets it and how it went. Stay with me. This year, my middle one had another contest, and this one was in biology, so it's named after our famous Proteus. I made her a good luck necklace with the Proteus on it, of course. It's made from polymer clay and a small mosaic glass tile in red because she loves red. First, I marbled some brown polymer clay slabs in different shades to get the wooden effect. I flattened a piece a little bit bigger than the glass tile. I rolled a snake from the rest of the brown polymer clay and put everything together. I positioned the tile onto the polymer clay sheet and encircled the tile with the brown log. I cut off the excess of the log and the sheet below and enclosed the tile with the log so it sits securely because the edges of those tiles are too sharp to wear as jewelry. It's glass after all. Don't cut too much of the sheet though. You'll need some clay to smooth the edges between the sheet and the log. I'm using a nail and cuticle tool and my fingers, of course. To smooth everything out, I used some baby powder and then I ingrained grains into the clay so it will look more like a real wood when I paint it. To make the homme, I took some polymer clay in pink color that is so significant of our cave amphibian and rolled out a snake tapered at one end. Then I cut it to the right length and shaped the head. I know it looks like a sperm cell right now, but it will get more amphibian-like in a minute. I'm rolling out a tiny snake, cut them in half so we have two identical legs. For the gills, I use a tiny bit of deep burgundy red clay and I add that to the pink one because the gills are reddish at the ends. I know what you'll say. What kind of amphibian has gills? Well, a neotenic one. Life in caves is so hard that this species stays in its baby state all its life and sexually matures nevertheless. Funny creature, I tell you. Anyway, now that I've added gills, I'm positioning the animal onto the pendant. Shape the tail in an interesting way. It can twirl around, so use that to your advantage if you plan on making those. I added the legs after the body was already positioned, so I wouldn't crush them, and I could find a perfect placement and shape the toes on the legs. I'm using a dentist tool, but you could easily use a needle for that as well. As you can see, you don't need any fancy tools for this. You could also substitute the glass tile for a cute stone if you wished, and it would still look nice. I just wanted to show you a little bit in real time so you have the feeling of how slow the sculpting actually is. It's not a huge time investment though. It took me about half an hour to make this necklace. So you can make quite a few before the holidays. To finish the pendant, I'm attaching the little eye hook, and to do that I need to add some more clay so there will be enough room for the pin to grab onto. I just cut a little piece of brown log and pressed it onto the top of the pendant. Then I rolled some round beads from my scraps of clay in the colors I used in the pendant. That way everything will be cohesive and will fit together nicely. After everything is baked, I slid the beads off the wires that I used to bake them on, and then I squeezed some black patina to paint the whole frame, taking care not to paint the alm itself. You could also use black or dark brown acrylic paint. Patina just dries a bit slower, giving you more time to work with. I let the paint seep into the cracks and then wipe it off the surface with the paper towel. Now the nooks and crannies are more pronounced. When the paint is dry, I'm trying different patterns of beads to find the one that works best. I do that on a piece of white plush fabric, offcuts from my sewing. It's great because the beads don't slide around it, because it makes kind of cushioning, and white makes it easier to judge the colors on it. I decided against the bright transparent red and used some glass cylinder beads, partly because it looks good and partly because I didn't make enough of these polymer clay beads, but I kind of like that, so another happy accident, I guess. Here's the finished necklace, and funny fact, I guess it worked because she got a silver in that competition. I hope you like this weird little project. You can adapt it to any kind of animal or flower you would like to have. You can use a stone or a shell for the base instead of glass tile and create whatever you desire. That's the whole point of creating, right? You can make very unique jewelry for your friends or for your children or whoever you like enough to make a personalized project for. Enjoy the holidays and see you next week with some January bujo. Bye bye!